Hey everybody, it's just a lot of people wonder where I get all my Capri Suns and everything that make my products and how I categorize them. So over here I have all the generic Capri Suns, I have all the Kool-Aids over here categorized, and everything else in another box. Alright, so what this video is about is how to make placemats slash Sit-a-pons. Girl Scouts pulled these out of my backpack saying, oh, they're Sit-a-pons. They're actually placemats, and you can do a lot of things with these. I put little drink packs on the corners to let the kids know where the drink goes when they're doing it. But you can put Kool-Aid things down here, not Kool-Aid, but M&Ms, the big patches, and I have one of those, and that's probably what I'll put on this next one, just to add some different color to it. All right, but a lot of people say, how come you charge $2 a piece for these? Well, you're about to find out how much work goes into one of these, all right, to make it. It does take some time. You have to be ready for a video that's going to take some time. I'm not going to show you me clipping the threads off and stuff like that, but it's a lot of repetitive stuff, all right? And I'll fast forward it so you get a little comedy out of it too. All right, before I get started, I want to show you I do wash everything out completely, and they dry on my back fence, hanging on the back fence. So what's going to happen eventually, these will be closed up when we're on it. So the first thing you're going to do is sew one on top of the other, right side up, all right, and be in the blue area, okay? Don't go above that because we're going to hem the top down like this, all right, eventually. And so you'll get a double sewing going along there. I use an industrial sewing machine on this. I have the pressure on top all the way down because you're going through basically 4 pieces of foil on this one. All right, and then when you're doing one underneath here, you're doing this part going underneath this, and you're also bringing this back, going back. So it's going to take some pressure on the sewing machine. So I use an industrial on this. I'm going to tilt this camera down. It's actually on the table now, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to get my hands in front. All right, I have one drink. It could be any kind of drink, the go-go drinks, any kind of drink, and I'm using 8 Kool-Aids. This is Tropical Punch. All right, and they're all clean. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to sew this guy on. All right, I put it under. I am on a very mild zigzag. All right, the lowest setting. I'm on 2 on the stitch thread, so it's really tight. It's going to be a little noisy too, and of course I can't see my pedal, so I can't feel it, but I can look at it and make sure I'm on there. Shoot down. It's going to be a little noisy. All right, now I go back up. Start that. All the way down. Stop. Keep the needle down if you can. Turn. Lift it. Always lift that shoe. Don't put any torque on it. I do see the camera moving, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad. All right. Okay, I went forward then back to lock it into place so it won't de-thread. You got to pull the thread out and then cut. Be careful with the scissors, guys. Alright, and there you are. It's done. So that's what it looks like. Alright, on the first one. This is going to be number 4 on your first set. So you have to do some sewing before, and what we're going to do is start doing that. Alright, so I'm going to put this in sequence. On the first 4, it's going to be number 4. That's 3. This is 1 and 2. So we're going to 1, 2 first, and then bring the other ones in. So what I do is I overlap the silver. You got to be really good on this because I do miss too. I keep a thumb on the bottom, so I have a thumb on the bottom and an index finger up here holding these in place. All right, so they don't slip. All right, I'm putting the needle right over that. Come down and go back and forth. Alright, and I did the same on the bottom. You want to do that to all the panels. Alright, I think that's the only one I'm going to do on this, and then I'll pause the video when I'm done with all the panels on the top, and then I'll start on the bottom and show you how to put them together, and what I do on both sides. Alright, got me in about 5 minutes to get to this spot. Alright, so you're going to bring this back. This is where the apple juice is. So you're going to bring this back. Alright, just where the top is. I'm really hoping that you see the lines going across. So you're going to bring it all the way down, And keep them straight. You must keep them straight, especially toward this last one toward me, okay? So you want to make them nice and flat. All right, and you're going to run a single line going, and we're going to stay toward the bottom. We're not going to the top, we're going toward the bottom. All right, so I'm going to set it and then just zip along. I'm backing up. And that's it. I'm going to take this out and clip it, and that's the end of the first panel. Now your second panel, the one below it, is going to be quite different. Number one, we're not going to hem the top, all right, because the top is going to go underneath. So what's going to happen is your bottom, let's say this was your bottom one, it's going to go underneath this. And so when we sew here, we're closing this up. Your next one, though, we're going to be sewing all the way across the bottom. All right, not the top. That way you close it up. It also locks these into place so these don't separate. All right, so take 4 more now, and they're not going to have anything on them at this moment. All right, take 4 more now and just sew them together like you did the first 4, only we're not putting an apple drink on it. All right, now those 4 together, what we need to do is seal up this bottom. Otherwise the kids will have all sorts of places to put their food and stuff, and we wouldn't want that. So we got to seal up the bottom. All right, I'm going as close to the bottom as I can without falling off. All right, I'm backing up on this one, and what I'm going to do is every joint, when I get to this one, when I get up here, I'm going to go back and forth. And I terminate by, at the end I do that also. Now, all that is a button on the sewing machine. So while you're sewing along, you can hit it and back up. All right, so that's finished. Now what we have to do now is attach the top to the bottom. So on these two things, what I like doing is I like measuring them out to make sure both sides are equal to the ends. Okay, so right about there is about as equal. So the top is a little shorter than the bottom. All right, so that's just how it's sewn and how they're made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this gap right here because I don't want these to come apart. So this is my start. I'm going to go back and forth. So that stitch is locked in, and that joint's locked in. I'm going to rotate it, keeping the stitch in. Now I am just above where the lines are, where the arrow goes down, showing where the straw is. You'll see when it comes out. Now when I come up to these joints, I'm going to pause. I'm not going to go back and forth, I'm just going to go slower. Now if you notice, I have my hands on both sides because you don't want these separating. At the very end, needle down, all right, you rotate it and go back and forth. And that's the finished product. All right, we're done at this point. Now we want to put our decoration on. So this is the guy I'm going to use. All right, it's going to be kind of cool. I'm going to have him go sideways. He's going to be like this. That's the idea. So what I want to do is I want to come down and I'm going to go down and go back and back up. I got to be right along the edge because this is not hemmed or anything. And when you're stitching, you have to keep it tight. Okay, I want this to actually be down and in the item, caught up in the legs of the camera. All right, rotate it around. You want to cover all the edges. All right, rotate it. Notice my hand is holding this flat down. I want this to be flat and steady. I don't want it folding anywhere. If it buckles any place, it'll be down toward the bottom. So I really don't want it to buckle. and it's going to buckle. It's indicative. It's indicative. It buckled it a little bit right there. That's okay. And end with the back and forth. So that's how easy it is to do. So you got to make sure you pull the thread through anything from the other side. Clip that, trim this, and then I have to reach underneath to actually cut the bottom. So I'll show it to you when I'm done. All right, everybody, there it is. Is that cool? I think that's somebody's actually going to like this. Some youngster, $2 for that thing. All right, and I make a deal when they buy a pack of 4 or 5. I take $1 or $2 off. So I think it's a really cool idea, and all my things like this come off of the trick or treat bags of candy during Halloween. I have so many of those; it's ridiculous. So very rarely do I put anything on this. It's like one every 10. So hey, subscribe, see a whole lot more nifty little videos. This is what I do with all these Capri Suns. And I make purses out of them too. Take care. Bye.